In July of 1988, Olympic super heavyweight silver medalist Riddick Bowe dropped Art Tucker twice in the third round of their Atlantic City contest. The undefeated Bowe's quick hands and outstanding punching power and evidence as he scored a TKO over the talented Tucker. Tonight, Riddick Bowe looks to continue his rise to the top of the heavyweight division as he takes on former WBC heavyweight champion Pinklon Thomas right here on Friday night at the Fights. Of the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C., Sports Channel presents Friday Night at the Fights. And two excellent matchups highlight our Friday Night at the Fights here on Sports Channel. Junior lightweights, Eugene Speed, undefeated in 17 fights. A 27-year-older goes against 29-year-old Kenny Baysmore, who makes his debut here in 1990. But amongst his 24 victories are 21 knockouts. That's a 10-rounder. That'll be followed up by another 10-rounder. Heavyweights will step into the ring. Undefeated Riddick Bowe, 18-0 with 16 knockouts, up against the former world champion Pinklon Thomas, who is making yet another comeback. And a good evening. Welcome to Washington, D.C. Spencer Ross along with Mike Marley. Mike, let's start with the first fight tonight. Baysmore has not fought at all in 1990. How much of an effect might that have on him?
Well, I think it'll be a problem, especially in the early rounds. But Kenny Baysmore is a big puncher. Eugene Speed knows that. He hopes that his speed, pardon the pun, there is no pun there, but his swiftness will make a difference.
Now, as far as speed's concerned, he does have those 13 knockouts. This is kind of a hometown rivalry. Both these youngsters are from this Washington, D.C. area.
This is a hot local rivalry. They're neighbors almost. One's from Maryland, one from right here in the District of Columbia. Both once affiliated with Sugar Ray Leonard. Ironically, they both left Leonard under some controversy, and both list Thomas Hearns as their boxing idols now. But it has been a match that's been talked about for a long time here in D.C.
Now, as far as our heavyweight fight is concerned tonight, Pinklon Thomas has said some things about Riddick Bowe. He said, well, he hasn't fought anybody. But then again, he hasn't been beaten by anybody. And while Pinklon Thomas has fought a lot of people, he's been beaten a lot lately.
Well, Pinklon Thomas, former world heavyweight champion, but generally regarded as being on the decline after taking back-to-back beatings from Mike Tyson and then Evander Holyfield. He really hasn't been the same since, but Pinklon Thomas says tonight he'll be fighting for his life.
Riddick Bowe, how good can Riddick Bowe be? Is he on a proper timetable for a championship?
I think he's being handled expertly, carefully, and he's not being rushed. And that's good. What's the rush? He's a young man. He's the youngest of the heavyweight prospects out there. It's a golden future ahead for Brooklyn's Riddick Bowe.
Okay, we're going to see what's going to happen as Friday Night at the Fights. We'll get things started right here in Washington, D.C. Tonight, Eugene Speed against Kenny Baysmore. Let's take a close-up look at 27-year-old Eugene Speed, who will be going into the ring tonight undefeated, 17-0. He's from Palmer Park, Maryland, and his boxing idol is indeed Thomas Hitman Hearns. 13 of his 17 wins have been via the KO route. And earlier, Mike Marley had an opportunity to pop a couple of questions to him.
Eugene, you know Kenny Baysmore's style. You're both from the same area. Do you think he's going to be harder early on because he's a heavy puncher? What do you expect from Baysmore?
Well, I expect pressure from the very beginning, all the way through the fight. I've seen him fight a few times. He's pretty strong. We both can punch real well. But I think I have better lateral movement, and I think I'm more prepared than he is.
Okay.
29-year-old Kenny Baysmore will step into the ring. This will be his 30th professional fight. He has 24 wins. He has not fought, though, in 1990. He's from Washington, D.C. And again, as we mentioned earlier, his boxing idol is Thomas Hearns. Some questions from Michael Marley to Kenny Baysmore about tonight's battle.
Kenny, you've been inactive since last October. How will that affect you, particularly in the early rounds tonight against your local rival?
Well, I don't feel it would affect me all that much because I've been in training for a long time, and I'm always very well conditioned. So whatever he has to offer, I know I'll be able to deal with.
Okay. What about Eugene's speed? He says the difference will be his speed and lateral movement, that you both can punch, but that he can also box. How do you comment on that?
Well, he has his opinion in terms of what will make the difference. I guess styles will make the difference, but only time will tell.
Okay.
Only time will tell. So that's our first big matchup of the night. It will pit a couple of youngsters from the Washington, D.C. area. Eugene Speed against Kenny Baysmore. 10-round schedule, junior lightweights. And the Washington, D.C. rules, they differ a bit from the New York State rules, but here's the way it goes. 10-point must scoring system, similar to New York State. The 3 knockdown rule, however, not in effect. There is no standing 8 count. You cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and the doctor cannot stop the fight. So an interesting battle. And again, this hometown rivalry is something that I really think has to be approached, because we've got a good crowd on hand here. This is at the University of District Columbia, and a good crowd on hand, and a lot of these people have come to see these 2 local youngsters.
Well, one of those at ringside is Sugar Ray Leonard himself, sitting over at table 9 near us. Sugar Ray just gesturing over to Eugene Sonny Speed, and of course Leonard and his attorney Mike Trainer were at one time affiliated with both of these boxers. So both Kenny Baysmore and Eugene Speed are both well known to Sugar Ray Leonard, and Sugar Ray Leonard is here to see what happens.
And right now we're going to go into the ring, and ring announcer Rich Daniels is going to introduce tonight's participants.
He weighs in at 130 1/2 pounds with a professional record of 17-0, 13 by KO, and we'll be doing this again, testing that microphone. Sound okay? All right, good.
Rich Daniels, who sports one of the great ties that I have ever seen.
Red, white, and blue, and apropos for the nation's capital.
Well, it's Stars and Stripes, and it's got 13.
Now are you ready for some boxing?
The original colony.
Channel of New York.
Okay, I think Rich is ready now. Do it,
the
Rich.
co-feature of the evening. You ready?
Get the feeling Rich does warm-ups before he starts. Rich?
10 rounds of boxing in the junior lightweight division. In the red corner, he wears the black trunks with the gold trim, weighing in at 130 1/2 pounds with a professional record of 17-0, 13 by knockout. Fighting out of Palmer Park, Maryland, he's on the threshold of becoming one of the top 10 junior lightweights in the world. Please welcome Eugene Sonny Speed. Trunks with the gold trim, weighing in at even 130 pounds with a professional record of 25 wins, 3 losses, and 2 draws with 21 knockouts. Fighting out of Washington, D.C., he's been a professional for 10 years. Please welcome Kenny Baysmore.
Get it out.
Baysmore in the blue trunks has not fought yet here in 1990. 24 wins, 3 defeats, and 2 draws. Sylvester Stevens is the referee. And let's check the tail of the tape. 27 years old is Sonny Speed. Baysmore is 29 years of age. The size difference just about the same. So is the weight, and so is the reach. So no really physical advantages that either of these fighters have. Scheduled for 10 rounds, and we are set. Kenny Baysmore against Sonny Speed. Speed from Palmer Park, Maryland in the black trunks, and Kenny Baysmore in the blue trunks from Washington, D.C. Good speed on both these fighters. They can move.
Going to have to be careful with that word since we have Eugene Sonny
Yes.
Speed, one of the combatants. But this is what Speed expected, what figured on paper. Baysmore looking to pressure him right from the start, going right at him.
We'll say he has quickness. First round scheduled for 10. Baysmore didn't fight in 1988 either. And nor has he fought in 1990. His last bout, he lost a 12-rounder to Huey Parker. Back in 1985, he was beaten by the former world champion Roger Mayweather. He did win the USBA junior lightweight title on 2 occasions, beating Myron Taylor and Anthony English.
Well, Kenny Baysmore has been a rated fighter. He just hasn't been able to move up to the top echelon in his weight division. Had the managerial problems, and he's now handled by a young woman named Zulika Johnson.
And they're slugging it out here in this first round. You want to get further confused, Eugene Speed. And yet, Kenny Baysmore, his trainer is John Sneed. So Sneed does not train Speed. I love Baysmore's trunks with the tassels hanging down from the sides.
Usually only see those on the shoes of the robes, but I was surprised to find out when I asked Eugene Speed, the two, despite being in this area, being top amateurs and now top professionals in the same weight division, they have never sparred.
Those trunks must be heavy because they look like they're falling down. I mean, take a close look. They're going down rather quickly as we approach the end of this first round. Hopefully the bell will sound before we have one of the great embarrassing moments in the history of professional boxing.
I wonder if Baysmore is expending a little too much energy in the opening round. Oh, nice right hand by Speed. Nice counter-punching right.
And it's going to have to stop, though, because Baysmore lost his mouthpiece.
That was the best single shot of the fight. And Sonny Speed is ready to rumble.
Well, you can't get saved by the bell here in the District of Columbia, but you can get saved by the mouthpiece. And also by the trunks falling down. He picked up. Second round, scheduled 10-rounder. Sonny Speed, who threw a good right hand near the conclusion of that first round. We'll have to see what kind of an effect they might have on Kenny Baysmore as we start this second round.
Well, I gave the round on my unofficial card. I still gave the first round to Baysmore because although that was the single best blow, that right hand by Speed, Baysmore, I thought, dominated the round until that point. He had pressed the action.
Two very competent young fighters. It's nice to see a kid with only 17 fights come out like Speed and stick that jab, stick the jab, stick it, stick it, stick it. Double up with the two.
And he's very effective and accurate with that jab. You see, he just doesn't throw it out there, doesn't fall with the left hand. Nice defensive moves by Eugene Speed as well.
Baysmore is on the attack, and that time Speed stuck the jab right into an incoming Kenny Baysmore. Second round scheduled for 10. Baysmore continues to be the stalker.
Well, he's the harder hitter. And he'd like to get set and just unload punches on Eugene Speed. That's why Speed is fighting like the cat on a hot tin roof. Constant movement by Speed, that's his game. He's the boxer. Nice combination on the inside by Speed.
Right hand uppercut by Speed. This fight now, Michael, in fight.
And they've been
seen. Good right hand there that time by Baysmore.
Well, each man trying to get the respect of the other to show, hey, you know, I have power, but I can also box. And I think they've tasted enough leather from each other that they both respect the punching of the other man. Nice.
Good right hand that time by Speed. And Baysmore holding on.
He cracked Speed with a short right uppercut, right on the jaw.
Talked about the experience of Baysmore. This is his first fight of the year, but he has had 30 professional fights, and yet he really hasn't gone to the body at all. Aiming up high.
Well, Speed looking to come in again with that uppercut. And there he is with an uppercut to the body. He's mixing up his attack very nicely.
Second round coming to a conclusion of a scheduled 10 round.
Sylvester Stevens, the referee, warning Speed for hitting low.
Well, it was Mr. Speed who got off a real good punch right here midway through this second round. A quick right hand that we're going to see upcoming shortly.
They're in close, and Speed uncorked a vicious right uppercut to the jaw. I gave that second round to Eugene Speed, and I've got it even 19-19 going into the third round.
It's third of a scheduled 10-rounder. These are junior lightweights.
I tell you, 130-pounder, Spencer, but the way these guys both punch, you would think they're in a higher weight division. Both very effective punchers at such a light weight. Watch how Eugene Speed, well, there he is on the offensive, but watch him on defense. Moves his head side to side, up and down. There he is. He's giving a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard as Sugar Ray Leonard smiles from his ringside seat.
He's surprised Baysmore really has not shot anything to the body yet, and we're almost through the third round.
Well, you know, he's got an elusive target in there. You see Speed, he's got about, pardon the expression, he's got lots of speeds, reverse, side, backwards. I mean, he's a very elusive target. Baysmore punching at his back even.
Cocky smile on the face of Speed as he retreats and does it in really a very masterful fashion. Ali rope-a-dope, but he's getting hit.
He does not want to stay on the ropes and let Baysmore tee off. And there goes the mouthpiece of Kenny Baysmore. That's the second time Baysemore's mouthpiece has gone out, Spencer. And they're also pulling up those trunks.
Under a minute remaining in this third round, scheduled for 10. We've got two knockout punchers here. Baysmore, the blue trunks, with 21 knockouts amongst his 24 wins. And Speed, 13 KO, and a perfect 17-0 mark.
Well, Speed is starting to slow down a bit. This is what Kenny Baysmore wants to see. He wants a flat-footed target.
Baysmore continues to attack. Good round indeed for one Kenny Baysmore, perhaps his best, as this third round comes to a conclusion. We've got the fourth round coming up of a scheduled 10-rounder. And a good round indeed that was for one Kenny Baysmore, who you see coming out of the corner rather quickly. Baysmore, well, I think Baysmore wants to finish it right here if he can.
Well, he had to be encouraged. A strong effort by Kenny Baysmore in round 3. On my scorecard, I've got Baysmore up 29-28 by 1 point. It's a close fight, but Baysmore speed slowed down in the last round, and that's what Baysmore wants. He'd like to cut off the ring.
He continues to cut it off, and now Speed in trouble up against the ropes right off the bat. Lands a couple of very strong left hands.
Watch your head.
17 wins, no defeats for Speed, but he may not see the likes of Kenny Baysmore up until this stage of his career. Good right hand uppercut. Speed turns it around.
He hurt Baysmore with that right uppercut, and then he missed with a second one, but he cracked him with that.
Baysmore is in trouble.
Not only that, Bayesmore's busted up around the left eye. He's bleeding.
Big right uppercut by Eugene Speed may have turned the entire complexion of this fight around.
Problem is, Spencer, it looks like Speed may have shot his wad, as the expression goes. I think he's tired. Baysmore coming back with some body shots, and his left eye is a mess.
These two kids are hitting each other something fierce. Some good shots to the head by Baysmore as he doubled up with his left hand. And that blood is flowing fiercely from the left eye of Baysmore. And it's from above the eye, which makes it far worse to handle.
Eugene Speed, some blood in his mouth. You can see the lips are red and bleeding. Here in Washington, D.C., they always thought it would be a war if these two ever got into the ring, and tonight it is.
Oh, that right hand uppercut again. Oh! Baysmore fortunate indeed to get out of the way of the velocity of those punches, because they still indeed have a great deal of velocity in them. They sting.
Well, Speed up on his bicycle just a little bit after standing there toe for so long.
There's no doubt he won this round.
A brutal pace in this round, and there's a right uppercut again by Speed.
Baysmore is in a great deal of trouble right here, because Mr. Speed connected with a right hand uppercut right there.
That was right up the alley, a powerful right uppercut. Baysmore was out on his feet. Somehow he survived, but right now, Cutman Ralph Citro has worked on the eye. Hopefully the eye will not bleed in the upcoming rounds.
Well, this is the 5th round. It's a scheduled 10-rounder.
I had that a 10-8 round. I thought Speed had a 2-point edge, even though there was no knockdown.
That puts him up by 1 point in this script.
I've got him ahead 1 point through 4 rounds.
Baysmore can't go toe-to-toe with this round, can he?
Well, you know, Baysmore's got to be concerned about the cut around the eye, although the blood was not flowing into the eye, fortunately for him.
He certainly has not changed his tactics. He is still doing the stalking as we start this 5th round.
I'm sure that Baysmore's got to think that Speed is just as tired as he is, if not more so. Again, it was Speed that did most of the punching in that last round, and they've fought at a tremendous pace.
Sticking that jab, and you know Speed is thinking about when can I uncork perhaps another right hand and come up high to reopen that cut above the left eye.
Well, Speed has his own problem. He's sucking up blood. You can see the bloody mouth.
And now a cut opens up above the right eye.
And there's a warning. Sylvester Stevens warning for a low shot. But he has him cut, as you pointed out, on both eyes now. And that looks like it's a more dangerous cut.
Baysmore is in trouble. He cannot continue much longer.
I don't think Baysmore can see that well. calling the doctor up to look at the cut. And that's an excellent move by referee Sylvester Stevens, because that cut looks very dangerous.
That's it. That's going to be it.
Well, the doctor appeared to stop it. Yes, he has stopped.
Good move.
He stopped the fight.
Good move. There's
He's
no
getting-
way Baysmore could have continued or should have been allowed to continue.
Well, he's getting an argument from the manager, Zulika Johnson, the woman who manages Kenny Baysmore. She's very upset, but that cut was in a precarious position.
Well, she may be upset, but I don't see Kenny Baysmore complaining very much about it. A fierce cut over the right eye after one had opened over the left eye in the 4th round. We're going to take a break. We're going to get back with the official decision of this 5th round. TKO. Eugene Speed remains undefeated as he wins his 18th consecutive fight. Back with more Friday Night at the Fights here on Sports Channel right after this. We are back here in Washington, D.C., and let's get the official decision from Rich Daniels.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision, a technical knockout at 1:30 of the 4th round. The winner, now 18-0, Eugene Sonny Speed.
Well, Sonny Speed deservedly comes through with an impressive victory. These two youngsters from the same area fight that a lot of folks in Washington wanted to see. And they saw a good battle indeed. But Sonny Speed, overcoming some early adversity, comes back. And after opening up a cut over one eye, opens up one over the other eye in the 5th round. And a good move by the referee and the doctor to stop the fight. Let's head into the ring. Mike Marley ready to talk with the still undefeated Eugene Sonny Speed.
Okay, Eugene, it turned into a war. I thought you were going to outbox him. Well, tell us what happened.
Well, I was boxing him. I started out boxing him, and I found out I could reach him with the right hand. And that's when I decided from the 2nd round on to move in a little bit closer, because I was catching him with a lot of good right hands.
You caught him in the 2nd round with that right uppercut.
Yes.
It looked as though you had him out on
Yes.
his feet.
Yes.
Were you disappointed you didn't stop
No.
him?
He's a very experienced fighter, and I knew that. He had more fights than I did. So I said, well, I'm going to take my time and not going to rush myself. I said, if I caught him with that shot, I could catch him with it again.
Okay.
And that's what I did.
They're claiming that that second cut, the cut over the left eye, was caused by a headbutt.
Oh, no. Right hands and left hooks caused that. No headbutt at all.
Okay. You've settled the local rivalry.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I feel very pleased. I feel that Kenny was a task for me. He was a more experienced fighter than me with, if I'm not mistaken, 21 knockouts out of 24 victories. So I knew he was a very dangerous opponent, as well as being a veteran. So it was a real fine test for me.
Okay, you took a risk in taking that fight because you're undefeated.
I didn't feel that.
You didn't feel that at all.
I feel this is the kind of fight that I need to get over that little hump. You know, I was undefeated, and I needed a quality opponent like a Baysmore to get over the hump and get the necessary variety or, the publicized that I needed.
Okay,
to be a good contender.
Okay, onward and upward, and you think you're headed for a world title shot?
I know so.
Who would you like to fight?
It don't make no difference. Anybody in the top 10. We're looking down at who is that guy?
Bernard Taylor, USBA champion.
And we would like to fight him.
Okay, congratulations. Still undefeated, Eugene Sonny Speed, and he settled the Washington, D.C. rivalry.
I'd like to thank y'all very much for having me on, and I appreciate it. Looking forward to fighting on Sports Channel again.
You deserve to be on.
Much.
All right, congratulations.
All right.
Sonny Speed. Now back to Spencer down at ringside.
Okay, a talented and very articulate young man, Eugene Sonny Speed, with some praise for his opponent as one of the great all-time champs, Sugar Ray Leonard, looks on here at the University of the District of Columbia. And right here, Sugar Ray Leonard, who, as we mentioned, had at one time managed both these fighters. Let's take a look at the problem. Here's where the second cut is going to open up, and as you heard Mike Marley ask, was it a headbutt? They thought in the corner of Baysmore that it was, but there you see right there certainly was nothing of the sort. But there's the warning for the low blow. At this point, the cut is already open, and Sonny Speed continues to attack lefts and rights, goes to work on the body, and the blood begins to flow in torrents from the right eye of Kenny Baysmore. The victory goes to Eugene Sonny Speed, who remains undefeated with a perfect 18-0 record. We're going to take a break.